I wanted to fix that. But I was like everybody else in a sense that I was always looking for the quick fix. Let me try this fad, that fad, let me do this diet, let me, all of it, right? Intermittent fasting, keto, you name it. I had spots on my face. I was overweight. There was everything was showing on the outside, even though I mentally was fighting that.
In this video, I interview my client, Mary Ann, who came to me having really like crashed her metabolism. She'd done something called Optivia, which had her at 1,200 calories for a long time. She'd been starving herself quite literally for years. And what we did and what we'll walk through in this video is essentially undid all of that damage, built her metabolism back up, helped her put on some more lean muscle mass and lose body fat and change her body composition into what you now see on the screen. Along with the actual tactics we're going to go over in this video, I also want you to pay attention to her mindset, because I think that has been the key to her success, is how she started to undo all of those beliefs that she used to have about her body and get to a lot more healthy, sustainable, and a balanced and honestly a more loving way to approach her body and her transformation.
Welcome in, Marianne. Super excited to have you in for this interview, and just yeah, just kind of go through your journey, the results, the mindsets that you've had and that we've been working on together. But to start us off, can you give us a quick intro on who you are, where you live, what you do for work, and just kind of what your life schedule is like?
Yes. Well, one, thank you for doing this interview with me. I'm super stoked to do it. I'm Mary Ann Celia. I currently live in Las Vegas. We just moved here about 6 months ago, and I'm a flight attendant for United. So I've been flying for them for 13 years, and yeah, I'm based in Denver, and that's what I do. I fly in and out of crazy airports with crazy people.
Yep. Yeah, that's amazing. And since joining the program, how would you kind of describe like what's the results that you've gotten or what have you gotten out of it?
I mean, the leaps and bounds that I've gotten out of this and the progress I've made for me has been super huge. I mean, I wrote this down actually. I feel like I ended up doing the opposite of what I originally showed up to do, which was to, you know, try to stay thin and keep my weight loss, back down after I had put some weight on. But I feel like this program had me come full circle with doing the right things again, going back to basics, and just really, really working, really doing the mental work. Sometimes we think we find things that work for a short period of time, and we're making progress and we're doing things, and it's just easy to revert back to old habits and things happen. But for me, that's been the biggest progress, is learning, for one, obviously the number on the scale is not the end all be all of everything. Food is not the enemy all the time. And putting on a little bit of extra weight in a good way was a really, really healthy thing for me. So, I mean, I feel so much better. I feel like I look so much better, and it's just been an incredible kind of revelation to do things that I didn't expect to happen.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I love how you shared just kind of like how your mindsets have changed, and putting on the right type of weight too, right,
Yes.
is
Yeah.
so key too. I'm curious, before we kind of dive into like where you're at now and those revelations, I want to rewind a bit and take us before you met me. What were
Mhm.
you doing before all of this?
So before I met you, I obviously, well, for you, but not for everybody else. I joined a weight loss program, which was the first time I'd ever done that in my life, called Optavia. I got the results that I wanted out of it, but I didn't realize the long term, I hate to use the word kind of damage, but damage I was actually doing to my body while trying to, be as thin as I could possibly be. I mean, COVID had come, we all obviously experienced the repercussions of COVID, and I was definitely one of the many that tacked on a ton of weight. I had some really unhealthy habits, and I wanted to fix that. But I was like everybody else in a sense that I was always looking for the quick fix. Let me try this fad, that fad, let me do this diet, let me, all of it, right? Intermittent fasting, keto, you name it. So I had done Optavia. I got the results I wanted in approximately 4 months. I lost like 35 pounds. And I was really, really happy. And I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. And I feel great about myself again. And I've taken the weight off and I liked it so much. They have a coaching program and I started doing that and trying to help other people. And that was rewarding. Until, life showed up again. And this move came to Vegas and I was going back to work and just things started to pile on and kind of old habits started to creep back in. And I started slowly putting weight back on and I started to get really upset about it and stressed and anxious. And then one lucky day, I was scrolling through my Instagram, watching everything on health and fitness that I could possibly find to do the right thing. And I saw you. And what resonated when I saw you, obviously for me, was that you were more geared towards people who had the lifestyle that I have for travel
Yeah.
and that could understand that. And that really was what drew me into you. And then just by happenstance of, I never expected, you see all these people online and, I've reached out to more than one. I don't expect them to ever really respond. And so when you responded, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is for real. And then of course, I had the doubt where I was like, oh my God, is he going to steal my money? Is this crazy? What am I doing? Like, but man, I still it's like I said, like finding a needle in a haystack, and you have been a huge just a huge drive in my success and feeling like I got back to a healthier version of myself and doing things the right way. Like I said, resetting my mind and getting back in the gym the right way and like rebuilding my relationship with food really, really helped because I was in a huge calorie deficit, as you know, like 1,100 calories a day for 3 years straight.
Yeah.
So obviously my metabolism was ruined, right? I didn't even think that could happen. But it did, and we fixed it. And I'm still a work in progress, but I'm so happy that I found you. Like,
Wow. That makes me so happy to hear. That's incredible. What are some of the mindset shifts that you've noticed you've had?
well, like I mentioned, I was obsessive about the number on the scale because Optavia was very scale driven every single day. I mean, when I saw the weight started to drop, I was obsessed. It's going down every day. Oh my God, I'm actually doing something that works. And then, when we started doing this and fixing things, the scale started to go in the other direction. So the anxiety creeped in. And as you know, you dealt with me how many days on, oh my God, the number, the number, the number. But lately, I would say, and we've been doing this for 6 months now about
Hmm.
that, right, Zach? It's been since
Yeah.
December. Um, in the last month, it's taken 6 months, which in the grand scheme of things, I guess isn't a very long time, but it felt like forever. Whatever you said to me in one of the check-ins where it was like, we talked about, step on the scale and that's the number that day and it's okay.
Yeah.
And that just like something clicked in me that that's what I've been doing. And it's freed me from, oh my God, what did I eat yesterday? Or what did I do wrong? Or was the stress up or whatever? So that shift, not obsessing on the number and knowing that's not my overall indicator of success was really, really big. Also, like I said, rebuilding my relationship with food, huge. Knowing that I can eat the carbs I want to eat in a good and healthy way. Just having the right amounts of proteins and fats and not being scared of that stuff and having things I want to have in moderation. I mean, really, really, that was a huge mindset shift for me too, because I had a really unhealthy relationship with food. Even before Optavia, like I would binge eat in private, in secret, like, and if nobody else saw it, then it never really happened, right? But it was obviously coming through all of me on the outside. I had spots on my face. I was overweight. There was everything was showing on the outside, even though I mentally was fighting that. So that was a huge mindset shift too, I would say for me.
Wow. That's really powerful. And I mean, yeah, food is fuel, right? Like that.
Yes.
And we're allowed to enjoy the food we eat too.
Totally. But I
Not
hated
feel
feeling like it
guilty.
was controlling me and
Yeah.
consuming me. And,
Yeah.
the first thing I would wake up sometimes in the morning and the first thing that popped in my head was, what are we going to eat today? What are you going to have?
Hmm.
Yeah, it was obsessive and it was almost like a crutch. It was a comfort. And I was using it as almost like a drug in a bad way to
Mm.
soothe and comfort, things I wasn't happy with. So Yeah, that has been a big revelation for me too.
Yeah. How do you think you actually like switched your mindset towards that?
I think you really helping me just with the science behind a lot of it, with knowing how to break down actual macros
Mm,
was part of that because, when we first set up all of my metrics and stuff like that, I looked at it and I'm like, well, this really isn't that much more food than I was already eating on Optavia. Okay, 1,500, 1,600 calories, 500 calories extra. Ooh, how much food can that actually be? And looking at the numbers like, oh, okay, well, only 100 and something. But then when I actually had to do it, I realized like this is fantastic because I can really nourish myself, not feel guilty. And my body, it's doing the good things for my body in the long term. That was the other big thing, long-term sustainability.
yeah.
I'm tired of the quick fix and the spiral and the vicious cycle of all of that stuff. So that's another really big, this whole thing, has brought into my life is just, it's long term, it's going to be long term
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, I love you sharing that because it's so true. Like, so much in our society and all the marketing we hear and all this and that is all like, get this really quick result this way, like, do this really fast. Like, there's so many advertisements that are like, do this one trick or eat this one food to lose 20 pounds in like 7 days. Like, that's so ridiculous and so unhealthy.
Well, and when you really know the science behind how things work, which you've also taught me a lot about, and I even thought I knew a lot, but I wasn't as educated, I think, as I thought I was. That really makes a difference in knowing how the process works. And, don't get me wrong, there have been days where those thoughts creep back in where I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just eat cabbage soup for the rest of the week. Like, or, just cut the carbs out today. You don't really need them. But when those things are actually missing, because I think in the beginning of starting this, um, I was scared to actually hit my macros, I think, in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Hmm.
And then when I realized I wasn't doing myself any favors, things actually rapidly started to shift with my physical body. So in a much better way.
Yeah.
So like you said, food is really fuel
Yeah.
and it's
100%.
okay to enjoy it.
Yeah. Tell us some of the things that you've sort of seen and observed in yourself, maybe like the story of the uniform or clothes or anything like that, because you actually do weigh a few more pounds heavier than when you came in.
Yeah.
But like, what are some of the things you're noticing with the way things are fitting you now?
So when I started this program, I was about 150 pounds. And then as of today, well, actually, I didn't weigh myself today because I traveled and I just hadn't had a scale. But this whole week I've been around, I'm about 150. I fluctuate between 158 and 160. So let's say I put on 10 pounds.
Yeah.
But in the last few months, as my physique has really kind of started to shift, I bought the pair of shorts last week. I'm still mad about that, Zach.
Yeah.
Because I've actually been trying to shrink the shorts. They're not shrinking. I'm shrinking. Um, I bought a size, I went up a size because I was scared that, oh, well, if I buy the eights, they might shrink and then I might be unhappy. So I bought the tens. I even asked this little lady in the dressing room the day I tried them on. She was sitting there in a chair and I said, do these look okay? And she said, yeah, they're fine. She goes, and you can always wear a belt with it. And I didn't even think about a belt because I haven't worn a belt in God knows how long. Oh, I got them home and I put them on, and those shorts stretched out more when I wore them. And I just looked like Farmer Joe in them. And so that's a testament to, okay, I put on 10 pounds, but the sizes that I'm used to wearing are not fitting me anymore. So my body is putting on more muscle and my metabolism is burning at a higher rate all the time, which is great. Yeah, my new uniform for work. How mad did I get though, Zach? Like right before we did this changeover and I was in my old uniforms and I was like, this is too tight. What's going on? My shoulders, my
I remember
my
that.
butt. I
Yeah.
was like, my uniforms don't fit. What am I gonna do? So I went and had the new ones altered and I didn't wear them I got them back in January, had them altered around February or something. We didn't start wearing them until just the end of May. I
Hmm.
was terrified because I was like, well, what if I put on more muscle and now these don't fit? But I put it on and it fit like a glove and I was shocked. So little things like that, that's another that reassured me and reaffirmed my idea that the scale does not dictate what's going on with my body all the time.
100%. Yeah.
Those were
That's
really
yeah,
great.
such a great story. What is your family like? Your family, your friends, your sister, what do they all think of this?
I mean, my sister's the biggest one for me. My sister's actually, she's on Optavia and she's
Yeah.
still doing it. She's coaching it. Um, and it's kind of like I look at her as a mirror now and I want to help her, but because she's still a scale obsessed and we've always kind of been competitive, always with our weight and things like that. I mean, we've always both been athletes and never, put on a ton of weight, but we both kind of did in our mid 30s.
Yeah.
She's lost a good 30 pounds. And, as I've gone through this journey, she's asked me and been really supportive of everything. And, I told her I felt really bad because in the beginning, I was like, I'm not abandoning you. And I know you feel like I brought you into this other program, but it's not helping us in the long term. And I need to do something better. So I've been sending my sister pictures and I mean, my sister can be brutal. She will tell me, well, don't wear that. Oh my God, your stomach or your arms look fat or don't, I sent her side by sides the last 2 months and she nitpicked the heck out of it, but all good things. Oh my God, look at even your armpit fat is gone. And I was like, well, I didn't even realize that. I know I had it, but your legs are so much slimmer. You have abs. Like she's like, you look wonderful. And even people like are noticing that I don't even know. People say things to me like, well, you look like you work out. You look healthy. You look like you're fit. And those things to me, even for somebody that doesn't even know me, that doesn't see me on a daily basis to say that reaffirms that I'm doing what the right things.
Yeah. Wow.
So people do notice whether you
That's
think,
so awesome. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a testament to all your hard work and the consistency.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And even when I didn't think I was making progress in the gym fast enough, I think it just, like you said, it's a long-term process.
Yeah.
And you've just got to, like you said, the consistency is what matters. I mean, I was not happy today that I thought I was supposed to land here in Vegas at noon. I was like, yes, I'm gonna be able to get a workout in because the last 2 days all I've been able to do is walk when I could. I forced my friends that don't really like to be as healthy as I do. I was like, get up, we're going for a walk in the rain. I
Good.
don't care. We did 10,000 steps yesterday. Um, yeah, it didn't happen, but it will happen tomorrow. And that's okay because I know I can now, it's not always all about the gym. I can control what's going in my mouth today.
Yeah.
And that's really what will dictate a lot of it. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's nice to feel free and I felt like I was suppressing myself for so long with a lot of this, with a lot of mental components and like I said, food issues. And, you know, I started working out. I mean, like I've been an athlete my whole life. And then I got into the gym thing when in my 20s. I'm 42. I've been working out pretty consistently my whole entire life, but if like I said, going back to basics really, really, I think is what helped me with the physical and just trying to really dive into the mental has been hard, but it's been good.
Yeah. Wow. That's so awesome. I'm so proud of your growth
Yeah.
too. Like just seeing like the physical changes, the mental changes, this the mindset, the way that you approach everything is just really so powerful to see. And it's really a testament to A, how powerful the mind is,
Yeah.
and B, what true consistency and dedication leads to.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think you've been a major integral part in the mental because for a long time, I was, a pretty, well, I went from a very negative person at one point in my life to really trying to be a positive person, like you said, implementing gratitude in things, finding the good in the situations. And then I kind of lost that along the way again. So when you kind of you came into the picture, all those values were already kind of re-implemented in you. And then I was able to kind of reabsorb them and start re-implementing them in my life. And it makes such a big difference, I find. Like, you can't always change a situation. You can only, if bad things are going to happen, good things are going to happen, but you can always find the good and be thankful for things that are happening to you or
Yeah.
happening for you, like you say, right? Like,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
that's huge to keep my mindset in that mode.
Yeah.
You've helped tremendously with that.
Wow. That makes me so happy to hear. How
Mhm.
would you describe the work we've done together and just kind of the program structure in general to somebody who isn't in it? How would you describe that?
To me, it's non-invasive, but not like, how do I say this non-invasive? That sounds bad. Because of what I did before,
Yeah,
the Optavia thing, that was invasive on a coaching level, and you are the opposite of that in a good way because you're there when I need you to be for you to hold me accountable, for you to answer any questions on anything. But I love the structure of the program with let's just check in, with the weekly check-in thing. It's not like we have to set the phone call time aside and go through all that unless it's really necessary.
right.
Um, I love the group community aspect of it. I've always loved that because I've always been a team player, but I love feeding off of other people's energy in the groups and seeing how their progress is happening, things that they are doing. I think that's vital because, you know, I think trying to do things on your own, it's not a bad thing, but you do better most of the time, I think, with help from others and learning from others. You thrive much more.
Yeah,
So I love that aspect of this program too. And I like that you hold me accountable, but it's not in a harsh or making you feel kind of shameful you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I felt like I could tell you, oh, Zach, I ate the donuts the other day, or I screwed up here, or I didn't do this right. And you're not going to be like, oh, Jesus, Mayor, like, let's start over again. Let's go through this again, and it was having that grace between the two of us, I think for me really helped.
mm,
Because if you can't be honest and forthcoming, then how can you help me?
yeah.
Got to be honest with yourself. And I think that's a really nice aspect of this program too. It's gentle.
Hmm. Yeah. Kind but firm is what I like.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would encourage anybody to do it. I mean, I've had people ask me about it and I've, definitely put it out there. So I'm
Yeah.
pulling for you.
Awesome.
Feelers out there for you, but I I'm I don't want it to end, honestly. Like I feel like it's become a really good, healthy thing for me, and I probably won't let it end. We'll probably keep it. So
Sounds good. Anything else that you want to share with anyone watching, something that's on your mind or something that you want to share or have come across from this interview?
I think that I would just say to people, don't, there's always going to be self-doubt. There's always going to be, I'm not good enough, I think, with a lot of people, or I can't do this. And I think just taking small steps will always lead you to the greater good of whatever you're trying to do. So don't ever give up, I think that's the big thing for me is that sometimes I have bad days and we all do, but like you said, showing back up is the key to winning here. And knowing that there's really no end in sight, that it's just going to be the lifestyle that I choose to live from here on out
Yeah.
is so exciting to me. And I think everybody that, if people could see that for themselves, I think that would be, that's wonderful for people because you don't have to live this life of, you know, I've got to do a diet or I can't eat that or I can't have fun here or, that I hate living like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mhm. That really
that's,
goes back to that long-term thinking, right? You
yeah. And the thing we kind of talked about, I think on one of our calls a couple weeks ago with the goal setting. Goals are great. They really are. We've got to have something to work towards. But I think if you can keep your goals, like I said, small and just realize that even when you reach the goal, there's going to be you got to keep going, right? It doesn't end there. So that for me is also huge to realize that there's no end game. Goals are great and I'm going to hit that. I want to hit them
Mhm.
and I will. But I don't have to put a time frame on it or,
Yeah.
as long as I just keep trying my best, that's that's what I'll do.
Yeah. I love that.
Hmm.
That's great. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on. This was so much fun. Where can people
Thank
find
you.
you if they want to connect with you?
I'm on Instagram. My username is mcelia920 on Instagram. I'm on Facebook as Marianne Elizabeth. Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
all there. So, or maybe they'll see me in the airport.
Yeah, who knows? Denver,
I'm still
Hawaii.
waiting to see Paul in Denver.
Yeah, true. It's
For
only a matter
you.
of time until you guys run into each other, getting your steps in.
Yeah. I keep looking for him.
That's so funny. Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining. This was an
Yes.
absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. It's truly been an honor to work with you and your program, and I can't thank you enough.
Amazing.